Have you ever noticed how the moment you wake up often sets the tone for your entire day? You might swing your legs out of bed and feel steady, ready to walk to the kitchen for coffee. Or you might feel that familiar stiffness in your lower back, or perhaps a bit of dizziness that makes you reach for the nightstand to steady yourself. We often think about how long we sleep, but we rarely give enough thought to the shape our body takes during those hours. It turns out that the position you choose can do much more than just keep you comfortable. Some research suggests that proper alignment during sleep may improve circulation by a modest 20 to 30% in certain cases, and even help your brain clear out waste products more efficiently. That clarity and stability are crucial for maintaining your balance as you age. I'm Dr. Brian Walker, a Senior Brain and Balance Specialist, and welcome to Senior Brain and Balance. Today we are going to walk through 5 specific sleeping positions that can support your heart, protect your back, and help you wake up feeling steadier on your feet. Stick with me, because the number 1 position is often called the gold standard for heart health, and it's a simple change you can try tonight. Before we settle in, I'd love to hear from you. Do you wake up with stiffness in your back or shoulders, or do you tend to sleep soundly through the night without pain? Let me know in the comments below. Your experiences help me understand what topics we should cover next. 5. Side sleeping with a knee support. Let's start with a position that many of you might already find natural, but there is a specific way to do it that makes all the difference for your spine and hips. Many seniors naturally gravitate towards sleeping on their side. It feels safe, and it's often easier to get in and out of bed from this position. However, simply lying on your side without support can sometimes lead to a twisting motion in your lower back that you might not even notice until morning. When you lie on your side, your top leg has a tendency to slide forward and down onto the mattress. This pulls your hip down and twists your lumbar spine. Over the course of 6 or 7 hours, that subtle twist creates tension. You might wake up feeling like your lower back is locked up, or you might feel a pinch in your hip that makes your first few steps of the day feel uncoordinated. The fix here is surprisingly simple but often overlooked. It involves placing a pillow between your knees. This isn't just about comfort, it is about mechanics. When you place a firm pillow between your knees, it acts as a spacer. It keeps your top hip aligned with your bottom hip, preventing that top leg from dragging your spine into a twist. It keeps your pelvis neutral. A common mistake I see is using a pillow that is too thin or too soft. If the pillow flattens out completely under the weight of your leg, it isn't doing its job. You need something with a bit of loft to keep your thigh parallel to the mattress. Let me share a quick story about a patient named Robert. Robert is 72 and loves gardening, but he was finding that his morning back pain was keeping him from getting out to his flower beds until noon. He thought his mattress was the problem. We discussed his sleeping habits, and he mentioned he was a side sleeper but didn't use any extra pillows. He started using a dense foam pillow between his knees that very night. He told me later that within a week, that morning, catch in his back had faded significantly. He wasn't cured of arthritis, of course, but the strain from the night was gone, allowing him to move confidently in his garden much earlier in the day. To do this correctly, lie on your side and draw your knees up slightly. Place the pillow between your knees, extending it down to separate your ankles as well if possible. This creates a straight line from your hip to your foot. It reduces strain on the lower back, which is the foundation of your balance. When your back is pain-free, your posture improves, and good posture is essential for preventing falls. 4. The modified fetal position. Moving on to our next position, we have something called the modified fetal position. This is particularly relevant if you live with spinal stenosis, or if you find that standing up straight for long periods causes a dull ache in your lower back. The fetal position is instinctively comforting. It's the position we often curl into when we aren't feeling well, or when the room is chilly. From a structural standpoint, curling up slightly opens the spaces between the vertebrae in your spine. If you have narrowing in the spinal canal, which is quite common after age 60, this position can physically create more room for the nerves, potentially reducing that pinching sensation or numbness that can disrupt your sleep. However, there is a very important modified part to this. The mistake many people make is curling up too tightly. If you tuck your chin all the way into your chest and pull your knees right up to your stomach, you can actually restrict your diaphragm. This makes deep breathing more difficult. Shallow breathing means less oxygen is circulating to your brain and heart while you rest. A tight curl can also leave you with a stiff neck in the morning, which can throw off your equilibrium and make you feel a bit wobbly when you look over your shoulder. The goal is to be curled enough to open the back, but loose enough to breathe freely. Think of it as a loose C shape rather than a tight ball. Here's the practical way to achieve this. Lie on your side and gently bend your knees toward your chest, but stop when your legs are at about a 90-degree angle or less to your body. Keep your chin up, away from your chest, so your airway remains open and straight. You might want a thick pillow for your head to fill the gap between your ear and the mattress, keeping your neck straight. This position can be very soothing for the nervous system. It mimics a feeling of safety, which can lower your heart rate and help you drift off faster. When you sleep deeply without nerve pain waking you up, your brain goes through its necessary maintenance cycles. This restorative sleep is vital for your focus and reaction time the next day. If videos like this help you, you can hit subscribe so you don't miss future senior health tips here on this channel. 3. Back sleeping with leg elevation. Now let's talk about a position that is wonderful for your circulation and can be a relief if you deal with swollen ankles or tired legs. This is sleeping on your back with your legs slightly elevated. As we age, our veins sometimes lose a bit of their elasticity. It becomes harder for the blood in our legs to fight gravity and travel back up to the heart. This is why you might notice your ankles look a bit puffy in the evening. If you sleep perfectly flat, that fluid can sit in the tissue. However, if you use gravity to your advantage, you can give your heart a helping hand. By raising your legs just slightly, you encourage that venous return. The blood flows more easily back toward the heart, which reduces the workload on your cardiovascular system while you sleep. It can also help flatten the curve of your lower back against the mattress, which can be very relieving if you have a sway back or lordosis. A common mistake here is using a standard squishy pillow that creates a pressure point right under the heels or ankles. You don't want your knees hyperextended or unsupported. The support should be under the knees and calves, not just the feet. Quick pause here. If you like keeping track of things like symptoms, blood pressure, or daily habits, we've made a simple tool called the Senior Health Tracker. You can pause the video and scan the QR code on screen, or use the link in the description. It's just there to help you stay organized and share clearer notes with your doctor. Let me tell you about a woman named Martha, who is 78. She struggled with mild swelling in her feet and often felt lightheaded when she stood up in the morning. She started using a dedicated wedge cushion under her legs at night. She reported that not only did her ankles look better in the morning, but she also felt less heavy in her legs when she swung them out of bed. That feeling of lightness helped her walk with more stability right from the start of her day. To try this, you don't need to buy a hospital bed. You can simply place a firm pillow or a rolled-up blanket under your knees. The goal is to have your heels slightly lower than your knees, but your knees slightly elevated above your hips if possible, or at least supported so your lower back sinks into the mattress. It's a very passive, gentle way to support your heart health all night long. 2. The reclined back position. Coming in at number 2 is the reclined back position. This is where your upper body is elevated slightly higher than your stomach. You might think this is only for people with adjustable beds, but you can achieve this with a wedge pillow as well. This position is incredibly helpful for two very common issues: acid reflux and snoring. As we get older, the muscle that keeps stomach acid down can weaken. If you lie completely flat, acid can creep up into the esophagus, causing heartburn. Interestingly, heartburn can sometimes mimic chest pain, causing anxiety and disrupting sleep. Furthermore, chronic acid reflux can irritate the throat and affect your breathing. Snoring and mild sleep apnea are also improved with elevation. When you lie flat on your back, gravity pulls the soft tissue of your throat backward, which can narrow your airway. This leads to snoring and those micro-awakenings where you gasp for air. Those interruptions prevent you from getting into deep sleep. When you don't get deep sleep, your brain doesn't recover, and your balance and coordination suffer the next day. The mistake to avoid is trying to achieve this elevation by just stacking 3 or 4 regular pillows under your head. This forces your chin onto your chest and strains your neck muscles. It creates a kink in your airway rather than opening it. Instead, you want to elevate your entire torso, from your hips up to your head. It should be a gradual slope. If you don't have an adjustable bed, a foam bed wedge is a great, affordable tool. It slides under your shoulders and head, keeping your spine straight but elevated against gravity. Imagine your airway as a garden hose. If you bend it or kink it with too many pillows, water can't flow. If you lay it on a gentle slope, everything flows smoothly. Keeping your airway open ensures your brain gets plenty of oxygen, which is the fuel it needs to maintain your balance and cognitive sharpness. And if tracking these things helps you stay consistent, the Senior Health Tracker app is linked below if you'd like to explore it. Let me tell you about a woman named Martha, who is 78. She struggled with mild swelling in her feet and often felt lightheaded when she stood up in the morning. She started using a dedicated wedge cushion under her legs at night. She reported that not only did her ankles look better in the morning, but she also felt less heavy in her legs when she swung them out of bed. That feeling of lightness helped her walk with more stability right from the start of her day. To try this, you don't need to buy a hospital bed. You can simply place a firm pillow or a rolled-up blanket under your knees. The goal is to have your heels slightly lower than your knees, but your knees slightly elevated above your hips if possible, or at least supported so your lower back sinks into the mattress. It's a very passive, gentle way to support your heart health all night long. 1. Left side sleeping. We have arrived at number 1, often considered the superior position for heart health and digestion: left side sleeping. You might wonder why the left side specifically. Why not the right? It comes down to human anatomy. Your heart is slightly on the left side of your chest, and the aorta, the big artery that leaves your heart to feed your body, arches to the left. When you sleep on your left side, you are working with gravity to help the heart pump blood into that descending aorta. It creates a smoother path for circulation. Conversely, sleeping on your right side can sometimes put pressure on the vena cava, the vein that brings blood back to the heart. So, for many seniors, especially those looking to reduce strain on the heart, the left side is the preferred option. There is also a fascinating brain benefit. Some recent studies on the glymphatic system, that's the brain's waste clearance system, suggest that side sleeping might be the most efficient position for clearing out metabolic waste from the brain. Think of it as the night shift cleaning crew for your mind. Efficient waste clearance is linked to better cognitive health as we age. Also, because of the shape of the stomach, sleeping on the left keeps gastric juices lower than the esophagus, which is another layer of protection against heartburn. Now, a common mistake is forcing this position if it causes you shoulder pain. If you have a bad left shoulder, this obviously isn't for you. You must listen to your joints. But if your shoulders are healthy, this is worth a try. I recall a patient named James, age 65. He was dealing with occasional indigestion and was worried about his heart health due to family history. He had been a stomach sleeper his whole life, which is generally tough on the neck and back. He trained himself to sleep on his left side using a body pillow behind him to stop him from rolling over. He found that his digestion settled down, and he felt he was taking a proactive, small step for his heart health every night. It gave him peace of mind, which is the best sleep aid of all. To get comfortable here, use a supportive pillow for your head to keep your neck neutral, and consider the pillow between the knees trick we discussed in point number 5. This combines the heart benefits of the left side with the spinal alignment benefits of the knee pillow. It really is a powerful combination for your overall well-being. Let me tell you about a woman named Martha, who is 78. She struggled with mild swelling in her feet and often felt lightheaded when she stood up in the morning. She started using a dedicated wedge cushion under her legs at night. She reported that not only did her ankles look better in the morning, but she also felt less heavy in her legs when she swung them out of bed. That feeling of lightness helped her walk with more stability right from the start of her day. To try this, you don't need to buy a hospital bed. You can simply place a firm pillow or a rolled-up blanket under your knees. The goal is to have your heels slightly lower than your knees, but your knees slightly elevated above your hips if possible, or at least supported so your lower back sinks into the mattress. It's a very passive, gentle way to support your heart health all night long. So we have covered side sleeping with knee support, the modified fetal position, back sleeping with elevated legs, the reclined position, and finally, left side sleeping. It is important to remember that the best position is the one that allows you to sleep soundly without pain. If you force a position that hurts, you will lose sleep, and that defeats the purpose. You might try one of these positions tonight, perhaps the knee pillow or the left side, and see how your body responds. Even small daily steps can help you feel steadier, safer, and more confident as you go through your day. I want to leave you with one final question to think about. Have you ever changed your pillow or mattress and noticed a big difference in how steady you felt the next day? I'd love to read your stories in the comments. This video is for education only and is not personal medical advice. Always talk to your own doctor about your situation. I'm Dr. Brian Walker for Senior Brain and Balance, wishing you a restful night and a steady tomorrow.